All right, Gold Member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only two things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
What?
No, you fool. We're following orders. We were told to comb the desert, so we're combing it.
Found anything yet?
Nothing yet, sir.
How about you?
Not a thing, sir.
What about you guys? We ain't found shit.
Would you mind loaning me some of your lipstick, Mom? Because I want to at least look pretty the next time you decide to f me!
No, 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 no. We're completely fucked, completely fucked. We're completely fucked.
Not the kind of person to say I told her so, but you know what? I told her so. I fucking told her so.
Not the best weekend to not stream. Just gonna put that out there. You know, UFC, you kind of fucked me. The UFC kind of fucked me with scheduling it on that weekend. Way too much shit happened. Way too much shit happened. I think it's safe to say that things are not looking good. You know, things are not looking good for Liverpool in any way, shape, or form. We did say 6 weeks ago, hey guys, it's stage one. It's stage one. I've gotten back the results of the MRI. We've done an X-ray. We've done a blood analysis. We might want to try to do some treatment. And you said, hey, listen, big guy, don't worry about it. We're gonna drink some kombucha. We're gonna do a 25-day water fast. I'm going to give you ivermectin and fenbenzanol. We're going to treat this holistically. You're not going to die. Don't worry, my G. We pulled a Steve Jobs, and guess what? 6 weeks later, it's fucking terminal. So I hate to say I told you so, but I fucking told you so. Exactly. Now, while on certain hands, I do believe some of that stuff, I'm using it as a joke in order to portray the metaphor. But regardless, we do have a guest beginning of this show. And when you're ready, just turn on your camera. And there we go. Easy money. All right. We have a guest, his first appearance on the channel. Very few people have appeared on this channel, all right? Only one other person has appeared on this channel as a guest. So this is quite an honor. Big up to the Stoic J. Big up to the Stoic J. He was a little bit early on the whole Salah train. I'm gonna have to give him his flowers. He was talking about stage one Salah in August. All right. I know that I'm taking the whole stage one 6 weeks ago with this football club, but he was stage one Salah. And now I believe he is terminal Salah. But I'm gonna let him share his own thoughts.
What's going on, idea, Mike? Mike. I'm honored to be on this channel. Do you know why? Because we were the only few doctors in the hospital that, you know, diagnosed this issue with the club. And, you know, when we were, you know, trying to kind of prevent the stages from falling like dominoes, from the cancer, you know, prevent the cancer from spreading, we tried to, you know, we told the family what was going on. We told them, look, it's stage one, it's stage two, it's stage three. We started to say, look, it's not even about the tactics anymore. We didn't want to listen. We didn't. No one wanted to listen. The families didn't want to listen. The hospital didn't want to listen. And unfortunately, we are where we are now, and it's over. It's curtains. It's stage 4. There's nothing you can do right now. Changing the tactics won't help.
It's terminal. It's not even stage 4.
It's terminal. It's terminal. It's terminal now. It's terminal. This is hospice settings. You know, it's
exactly.
It's how you manage it at this moment in time. It's not a matter of if, but when. And yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. You know, it's we were past the point of, you know, dropping players and everything like that. That was supposed to be done 2 months ago. And we are where we are. And you know, what you realize is, you know, when when shit hits the fan, and you see it with the families when, you know, family members diagnosed with terminal cancer. You get those family members that, you know, come to the hospice and they sit at the bedside and they try to make everything comfortable. And then you have those that, you know, look to leech off of, you know, any assets that may be remaining postpartum, post-death, post-mortem. And the vultures are circling, the leeches are circling. There are those that don't want to be involved because they can't handle the heat. And unfortunately, that's what this situation has kind of, you know, resulted in. So yeah,
it isn't great. I will say Liverpool didn't mess up my weekend. All right, I went to UFC. I was in Vegas. I saw probably the weight title fight of all time. I even hit my parlay, and then I won big at the tables. My whole weekend was free. It was electric. I went down the first night. I was pissed off. I went to the room 4 hours early. The next night, it was all free. Regardless, still somehow on Monday, I have to wake up, and this is what I fucking think about. I have to think about Mohamed Salah with his comments, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I agree with the sentiment. I think it was a stupid thing to do publicly, but can't really blame him. I know that you have your own thoughts, and I'm going to let you share them. But regardless of that, I think that it's such a small problem. Like, it's crazy that I'm looking at Mohamed Salah's comments and I'm like, this is like a Band-Aid. Like, this isn't even a problem. This is like, I got a paper cut and it's bleeding a little bit. On the grand scale of things, we should be sitting here and being like, oh my God, this is a nuclear bomb. This isn't even the nuclear bomb. This means nothing to me. Like, I don't even care that Mohamed Salah came out and said these things after the game, because what I'm looking at on the pitch is the worst thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Every single week, I go from this is the worst performance I've seen all season. And then the next week happens and I go, this is the worst performance that I've seen all season. And then it's the next week and this is the worst performance that I've seen all season. And I see everyone blaming this guy, that guy, the other guy. I mean, people were going after Konate. I'm like, okay, great, easy pen, who cares? Let's talk about the second goal. Hey, let's talk about the third goal. Hey, let's talk about the whole first fucking half without a single shot on target. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about anything else except these 15 seconds of highlights that conceded some goals. And the same thing goes week over week. But I know that you have things that you specifically wanted to share about Mo. So by all means, the floor is yours to tell me why Mo is terminal.
Yeah, I think we need to start off by highlighting, just for those that might be coming in, that we are the ones that still, you know, led the flag with regards to Slot needing to leave the club. That still remains. That is still an issue, and until it's resolved, again, there will be problems. However, what I believe Salah has done is he has made his position at the club untenable. Because what he has done is he has pit himself against not the manager, but the institution of Liverpool Football Club. The club that feeds him, the club that offered him 400,000 a week. Not about the manager. If we're being honest, the only comment he made about the manager is that we have no relationship. Is that I don't understand why I was dropped. Which to me, you know, the man lacks a bit of self-awareness. I think it's very evident as to why you're not playing. Yes, you can point to why others aren't playing, but you need to look at yourself the same way you're looking at yourself when you're speaking about, I've done this for the club, I've done that for the club. You haven't done this for the club recently. You are not scoring goals. You are not defending. And I think you need to have a bit of self-awareness there. I think that's where his ego comes into it. Yeah. But what he's done is, for me, from my personal standpoint, ruin any chance we had of Slot leaving by the end of the year. Because the club now cannot be in a situation where they allow and enable player power to go and look as though player power succeeds with regards to wanting to get a manager out or siding with manager, because ultimately the club made the decision to hire Slot. The club made the decision to give him money. The club will continue to go and back him. And yes, it's all predicated on results. But the club will look at it and be like, oh, you've dropped Mo Salah, and forget who it's against. We've got 1 win in 2 draws in 3 games. Now, if Liverpool go out and get another result tomorrow, that's going to be a further indication as to why they might stick with Slot, even if it is to the end of the season. Now, I don't want
draws results here. What are we doing?
You know, Mike, you know how I feel about it. I'm trying to not crash out, right? I've tried my hardest. You know how I feel about this situation. I wanted the manager gone in Brentford.
I don't crash out either. All right, my crash out is I speak calmly, but I say very explicit words. That's
exactly, and I'm like that as well. And I've started to become like that. However, his comments didn't only throw. You know, he speaks about throwing the club, throwing him under the bus. What he's done is throw the club under the bus, because the club now are in a weaker position to make a stronger change. What he has done is, you know, speaking about, I don't need to earn my place in the team. What about the players that are trying to earn their place in the team? What about the players that, you know, Ali's come out himself, you know, and explicitly stated that he's unhappy with, you know, Salah's comments and is going to have a conversation with him privately. Hasn't spoken to him since that. They all should be. Because what he has done, it's self-preservation. He has focused on himself. He has looked at himself, because I think about it and I'm like, okay, Salah, I'm not a fan of you coming out and speaking out, but cool. Like, even if it was against the manager, right? But cool. Did you speak about this when you were first dropped and, you know, we won the game 2-0 against West Ham? Of course you didn't. Why didn't you, Salah? Because it was tone deaf. Let's fast forward. Sunderland.
I'm going to let you land.
Why don't you come out and speak in the Sunderland game when you were dropped? Because you came on for 45 minutes. Okay, cool. When do you decide to go and drop this news about yourself and relay it back to yourself? And I have done this and I have done that. Not speaking about the team, not speaking about, you know, tactically what the problem is, not speaking about we don't understand what we're being asked to do. That would be a completely different discussion. You spoke about bringing your mum and dad to Brighton. You spoke about, yes, saying your goodbye at Anfield. You've gone and pushed that narrative. Why have you done that? Because you are angling for a move. Why are you angling for a move? Because you cannot take the idea. And when I think of, you know, the word promise, and you try to think about what would the club have promised them, and they've given him 400,000 on 2 years, right? So 400,000 pound a week on 2 years. So what would the promise really be? That's what the promise would be. You were promised that you'd still be the main guy. You were promised you'd still be Mr. Salah.
Okay.
And what's happened?
Okay.
And what's happened? And what I know you're itching. And what's happened?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna let you finish.
And what's happened is that you have gone and said. So what's happened is the club have been in a situation where you were playing games. You didn't come out and speak. You didn't come out and help Virgil when you were speaking in the media. You didn't say anything. The one time you went and got dropped, well, let's be honest, he was dropped for 7 days. Right? He was dropped for 7 days. Yes, it was a week of football. You've gone and decided to go and speak about how, you know, not only that you're disappointed with this situation, because of course you would be. I want players to be disappointed if they're not playing. I mean, we'd get upset if, you know, Chiesa was just happy sitting on the bench. I'd be upset if Konate or Isak or Ekitike were just happy to sit on the bench. For me, that would be a mentality problem. But you keep that in-house, as you said, and you work on the training pitch to go and earn your right. And he's at a stage in his career with his ego where he doesn't want to go and do that. And unfortunately, being at the age you are, especially considering the team are in the position that they're in, right? You're going to have to go and do a bit more. You're going to have to go and say, Milner's had to do it. Your Hendersons have had to do it. Your Rooneys have had to do it. These players have all had to do this. And ultimately, what you've decided to go and do is go down the route of Lukaku and Ronaldo and pit yourself against the club, which is fine. You can go and do that, but there will be repercussions. And unfortunately now, it's not Slot versus Salah. It is the club versus Salah, because the club are going to back Slot, unfortunately.
Listen, I hear you, but I'm just going to play a little bit of devil's advocate. First and
100%,
foremost,
I love devil's advocate.
First and foremost, I don't agree with what he said. I don't think that it was a smart decision. I think that it was a bit selfish, but I understand, and I feel like he is validated in his crash out. Even though it's not technically what he should do, there is reasoning behind it that I fully understand and I fully side with. If we go back to the first game that I can remember that he was dropped, it was Frankfurt in the Champions League. If you look at the first half when Mo's not on the pitch, it made no fucking difference. We looked like shit regardless. And football is not what led to a 3-1 lead. It was a 50-yard Andrew Robertson pass off of a clearance that should have been a goal for Frankfurt, and it was 2 set pieces. And Florian Wirtz, who was basically doing his Mohamed Salah impression, didn't do jack shit that whole fucking game. Go towards West Ham. West Ham played in a way that benefited Liverpool regardless of how we fucking played. They were so shit that it didn't matter. And yes, we put away our goals. Well, we put away the first goal. Then we played like fucking cowards. And then they went down to 10 men. And all of a sudden, we were playing on our heels. And Jared Bowen came this fucking close to making that 1-1 with 10 men, right? Then you fast forward to Sunderland. Sure, Mohamed Salah came on for 45 minutes. But look at that first half. Mo not being in the team made no fucking difference in any way, shape, or form, except for maybe the right side defense was just a little bit more solid because guys were tracking back. But let's be real. I spent £500 million. My priority should not be my right winger fucking tracking back. My priority should be, you want to be a possession-based team, play solid possession-based football. I think that Mo views this from, you're blaming me because I'm not being clinical in front of goal. I think the only negative aspect of Mohamed Salah's game this season is his conversion is down. That's it, right? When he gets the opportunities in front of goal, he has not been who he was in the past or even close to it. But outside of that, every other element of his game is not his fault. Like, look at what was the game against Sunderland. When Mohamed Salah was on the pitch, we even broke it down with screenshots. We went through play by play. He had no one. It was get the ball to Mo, put him in a 3v1, Mo, make magic happen. And that's been the game plan with Mo and this team all season. The man gets zero help. He gets no help. And he gets all of the blame because he is not the one who's producing. But I think that you're looking at the symptom of the problem. Again, this is where I think his mentality is coming from. I don't disagree. I don't agree with what he said, but a lot of people are sitting there calling for Mo to be dropped, saying that Mo isn't good enough, saying that Mo isn't doing this, Mo isn't doing that. Mm-hmm. When in reality, Mo not delivering is like a 2 out of 10. Because if the midfield can't connect the back line to the front line, I don't expect anything from anyone in my front line. And Mo hasn't been the only one who hasn't been producing. Gakpo hasn't been, Isak hasn't been. There was a large stretch of games where Ekitike wasn't. It's not like anyone else is some sort of hero in this front line. And to me, I just view not playing with a midfield as way bigger than Mohamed Salah, not producing. Because at the end of the day, I can't fucking control the game regardless, and I'm relying on a moment of magic. But when it comes to what he said, I think in a sense, you can look at perhaps Mo sees what people say online about him. Perhaps Mo feels as though Arne Slot is thinking, okay, Cody Gakpo, you're my guy. I'm going to play you every single week. And Mo's like, why the fuck are you playing Gakpo and you're dropping me? Why am I the problem? Why is it that you think that Cody playing every single week, doing the same fucking thing, being the main outlet, having the same end scenario, 3v1 every time he gets to the wing, but you think that I'm the problem?
All right, let me know. Let me know when I can speak because I'm gonna let you speak. I'm not trying to interrupt. So.
No. I'm almost done. In one sense, Mo has been the guy. I mean, ultimately, he is the reason that we won a Premier League title. He is the reason. 46 GA. We played diabolical football at multiple occasions, multiple spells last season. His magic is what saved us. At the end of the day, the guy has been world class for 8 years, and in a sense, I can see what he's saying when he thinks that Arne is blaming him because he's been the only one that's being consistently dropped for apparently no real reason. Like, why McAllister has no business being on the pitch. Cody Gakpo has no business being on the pitch. You can't figure out who the fucking right back is. I mean, Dominic Szoboszlai should never be playing there. You're dropping Florian Wirtz every other week, which doesn't make any fucking sense. You can't decide whether it's Ekitike or Isak, but somehow, some way, you have deciphered that the consistent thing is to remove Mohamed Salah and put the right back at right wing, because that's what I've seen without Mo in this team. I see Joe Gomez or I see Connor Bradley playing right wing, or I see Dominic Szoboszlai vacating the midfield and going to right wing. I get his frustration. I don't agree with what he said, but at the same time, I have to take into account that he has been the guy for 9 years at this football club, and I also don't know what's happening behind the scene, and neither do you. Like, we don't know what the conversations are like between Slot and between Salah. We don't know what the day to day is, and whether or not Slot is just doing that. But you said, why aren't you improving in training? My counter to that is simple: we don't fucking train, and our performances every single week prove that we don't practice. We don't do anything on the training pitch. We do not go to the AXA training center and do anything. We play spike ball, we play checkers, we play bingo, and we sit around, we drink tea, and we sing Kumbaya. There is no training at this fucking football club. So I disagree with what he said, but I have been against this fucking bald cuck for 8 weeks. This guy is a fucking cancer to this football club, and it has now spread to Mo, and it's making Mo act out of character. That says more to me about the leader than it does about Mo. If Mo feels the need to fucking say something like this, that means that Mo is acting out of character, which means that the manager has changed the culture of this football club. And I think that that's the underlying sauce that no one really wants to dig into, the mentality that he breeds. But go on.
I'm going to go back to the 80s, right? Joe Fagan, Liverpool were third from bottom, I believe 83, right? And Joe Fagan, the manager at the time, did what for an FA Cup, for a big FA Cup game at the time? Obviously, that's at Champions League, right? He dropped Kenny Dalglish. Kenny Dalglish didn't say anything. Anything. Why did he not say anything? Because as Kenny Dalglish has gone and spoken before, and as other players have, other historical figures for Liverpool, no one is bigger than the club, right? What Salah has done hasn't been for the benefit of Liverpool Football Club. It's been for the benefit of himself. This is about self-preservation. This is about him. This is about how he feels about his standing in the team. The fact that he feels like he's to blame. Let's be honest. No one's blaming Salah. If anything, it's Konate getting the disrespect constantly. Carragher's done it again about Konate. Gakpo
himself, that piece of fuck. He's always at the crime scene. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Konate, Gakpo, Chiesa. I've heard him call out. Who else has he called out from?
Virgil's getting called out every week.
But Virgil's getting. Let's be honest. Salah is the one that everyone, right? They might go and speak about, and of course, because at the age he's at, they'll question: have his legs gone? Is he going to be the same player? Can he go and do it again? But I hear Gary Neville waxing lyrical, Cara waxing lyrical, Henry waxing lyrical. Slot never criticizes Salah, ever. When anytime they try to go and press Slot, and this is why I'll give him to Salah, he always avoids it. He's the master at it. He dodges, he does the Philly shell like Floyd Mayweather, catches, slips, dodges. He never criticizes him, ever. Right? Chiesa, he's criticized Chiesa. Joe Gomez, he's never criticized Salah. In terms of minutes played, Salah has played the fourth most minutes out of every Liverpool player in all competitions this season. It goes Virgil van Dijk, Konate, Szoboszlai. Next is Virgil van Dijk. Sorry, next is Salah.
Yeah.
So Salah, bar those three, has played all those minutes and has only not played for 7 days, for a week of football. Now, yes, he could go and look at Gakpo. Why has Gakpo not done this? Why has that player not done that? I get it. But guess what? Gakpo doesn't play in your position. It's not like Chiesa is starting ahead of Salah and Chiesa's got 1 goal in 25 appearances and Salah's like, what the hell's going on? Chiesa can't get a sniff. We had Harvey Elliott that could play at right wing, didn't get a sniff. For 16 games this season, right? Salah's played every minute. Bar the Frankfurt game and bar the games that he went and rested in the Champions League. Played every game in the Premier League. Every game. Up until that point. And he didn't have an issue when he was playing. He didn't speak up when he was playing. He didn't say this is not good enough when he was playing. I heard Curtis Jones come out. I heard Robbo come out. I heard Virgil van Dijk come out. Salah didn't come out. And now, this is someone that we go and view as a legend of the club, as a leader of the club, as someone that loves Liverpool, supposedly. Yet we can all agree that what he has said does not benefit Liverpool, but it benefits him. It means that these conversations, this kind of spat that he's gone and had results in what? Other clubs being alert to the fact that he's unhappy. His agent can now speak to other players. He speaks about Brighton being his final game. And yes, no one is saying that he can't be disappointed with the fact that he is not playing. I'd expect him to be disappointed at the fact that he's not playing. It is Mohamed Salah. That is his ego. Nonetheless, what he has done, and this is someone that I've criticized the club and I've criticized Slot. You cannot bring the club into disrepute, because what you have said about, I don't need to go and fight for my place, start speaking about Harry Kane and Haaland. What are we talking about? Harry Kane got the most disrespect. Ooh, your goals don't mean anything. You've never won anything. He needs to be dropped from England. And what he's done, and unfortunately, what he's done is, and this is what I believe, is in the summer, and maybe with the signings that Liverpool have made, but in the summer when he signed the contract extension, the board, and I'm talking about the higher-ups, Richard Hughes and all of that, would have told him, sign up to 400,000 a week. And I think this is where his gripe is, his main gripe is, I don't even think it's with Slot, although he feels as though, I think that just compounded it, is the fact that he was told he was going to be the main guy, right, on 400,000 a week, and then looks in the summer and looks at the players Liverpool have bought. And the fact that you buy Isak and Ekitike means that there will be a focus on playing with a number 9, which means you have to feed him. If you're feeding him, it means that Salah's not going to eat either. And I think you go and look at Salah, and in terms of his statistics, he's getting the ball more than he did last season. He's got more touches than he has done per 90 last season.
But these are all inconsequential touches.
Exactly. And the reason why they are is because A, he is struggling to adapt to this new thing, which I'm not expecting him to adapt at his age, right? But Liverpool, and I think this is where the problem is, they are trying to transition and have been trying to transition away from the old guard. You go and look at the types of players they have, look at the signings that they've made, and this is what they've done. And that's where I understand why Salah would be upset. It's football, don't get it twisted, but I understand. Reason why is because you come in, you think you're going to be the main guy, you're okay with it, but you can see there's a slight change in terms of like what you're doing, right? And then all of a sudden what happens? You're removed from the team. That then for you signifies the end of Mohamed Salah at Liverpool. And of course, you're not going to be upset. Well, you're going to be upset with that. Of course, you're going to feel disrespect. And that I understand. But irrespective of that, if any other player had done that, when Lukaku did it as Liverpool fans, we got onto Lukaku as neutral fans. When Cristiano Ronaldo done this at Real Madrid, we got onto Cristiano Ronaldo for this. We cannot now go and change because Mohamed Salah said it and because Salah what he's done for Liverpool. I don't think that's acceptable. And I believe that Liverpool, and I believe, just to add, and I believe the reason why, because people are saying in the comments, the reason why Liverpool went and signed up Mohamed Salah to the 2-year deal is for 2 reasons. A, it protects the asset. Liverpool do not want to go and lose Mohamed Salah for free because they were losing 3 of their top 5 best players last season in Trent, Virgil van Dijk and Salah. And B, optically, it didn't look good. Because if Liverpool wanted to sign Salah, they would have done it earlier. If you go and recall the last time Salah was in the mix zone, what did he say? I am more out than in, which indicates at that moment in time, Liverpool were very tentative with offering him a contract, which suggests to me someone, the Excel spreadsheet guys, whether we wanted him or not, were thinking, maybe we shouldn't offer him the contract. Maybe we should let him go. And ultimately, you sign him up because he's, of course, had an amazing season, right? And Liverpool are now looking at, actually, it's not really working out the way we thought. We thought, yeah, we might get rid of him after their season, which a lot of people, you go and speak to even just your top Reds, if you want to call them that, your Redmond TVs, your Anfield Raps, they all thought and they all kind of speculated, oh, when he got the 2-year deal, it was the fact he was going to be here for another season and then leave at the end of the season, him and Virgil van Dijk.
Listen, I agree with that, but there's one point of contention. I don't think Salah is struggling to adapt because, and I don't think that the signing of Isak or Ekitike made any difference because we signed Darwin Núñez and Salah adapted and Salah fed Darwin Núñez 37 times in a season. He changed his game. He should have had 40 fucking assists that season. I think he was better then. He was on better form. He was in better form. Well, okay. I think he was in better form, but I also think that's because our midfield actually fucking played in midfield. Like we were a better team. We were better organized. We were better structured. We were better playing. We were more fluid. We actually played football. So again, I've always been the kind of guy that says that Mohamed Salah is a system-based player. I don't think that you can just stick him in any team and he will be himself. I also think the same for like 99% of the world-class players. I think there are very, very, very few shoes that can be that can be put on any foot. There's not many Lionel Messis. There's not many Cristiano Ronaldos. You can't just fit these guys into any system and it will work. So for Mo, I think that this season specifically, everything has been absolutely atrocious. Everyone at the front line has been garbage. The midfield is non-existent. The style of play is non-existent. The patterns of play is non-existent. The defense is non-existent. The possession-based system is non-existent. Look at all of the fucking goals we score. 9 times out of 10, there's an individual moment of brilliance within that goal.
I agree with all of that.
Most teams don't have to rely on individual brilliance to score every goal. Yes,
I agree. However, and I agree with that because I need to head off, right? But the point is, we all agree that the manager's not good enough. Like we agree on that. That's the crux.
Yeah,
but ultimately, we have to. That's not changing right now, right? So within that, you have to go and look at. Okay, cool. What can I do? And this is what the best players do, right? What can I do to ensure that Liverpool do better? So I go and look at, for example, Mohamed Salah, and you point to, for example, when he's there 1v1 and Wirtz is on his left and doesn't pass the ball, right? A, when you go and look at his action defensively in the PSV game, when you go and look at the amount of times he loses the ball on the right-hand side, right? These things are when you look at it and you're like, you know what? It's those issues. It's not the fact for me that he's not scoring or assisting. It's the all-round play. So yes, Gakpo should be dropped. McAllister should be dropped. I want Jones to be playing every game. I say this all the time. Konate should be dropped for Joe Gomez. I don't think I was even saying a while ago, Bradley should even play. Heck, Gravenberch can be dropped right now. Isak shouldn't play at all. It should be Ekitike. But that doesn't mean that Salah should be playing also. But the team, we cannot. So if we, as a consensus, as a general consensus, everyone has been saying Salah should not play. If Salah does not play, but someone else plays, that's not a reason to say, oh, but then why is Salah not playing? No, Salah shouldn't play because Salah's been crap, and likewise, Gakpo shouldn't be playing. But we don't make the decisions. So yes, I can agree with you. I think Gakpo should be dropped, and I've been saying this for ages. I've been saying McAllister should be benched, and I don't know what McAllister gives us, and I think Jones should be playing. I've been saying this. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Salah should be dropped as well, and rightfully so. And to say that he's not aware of why he's being dropped, let's be honest, that's just a lack of self-awareness.
For sure. Listen, his ego is taken over. I don't agree with what he said again. I think that it was the decision of a petulant child. It was not smart. It was not the right thing to do.
Mike, I need to head off because I've got Sal. But listen, if you're still live, I'm gonna jump on in about half an hour.
Yep. I'll be here. Cool. Big up. So, yeah. But for the chat, I don't agree with what he said. I don't think it was smart. I don't think it was an educated decision. I don't think that it was a calculated decision. I think that it was impulse. I think that he shouldn't have done that. Regardless of what I think, I have to go back to what was the first step that leads to this moment. What was the sequence of events that leads to Mohamed Salah saying something like this publicly after a game? That's where I'm going to put the blame. I'm going to put the blame on the sequence of events. I'm not going to look at the final moment. And the final moment in this scenario is Mohamed Salah saying this. No. The first moment is the beginning of the season, and we play like absolute fucking dog shit. The first moment is losing a 5-point lead and turning that into an 11-point deficit in the Premier League in 6 games. That's the moment. The first moment is the deconstruction of the mentality at this football club by this piece of shit cuck manager. That's the first moment. And then everything compounds over time. Nothing gets fixed. And then Mohamed Salah comes out and says this. I don't agree with what he said. I think he was poor. But ultimately, I can't side with the club on anything. The club is completely incompetent. The club is being run by morons at the current moment. They are backing Arnie Slot, which is the stupidest fucking decision that I have ever seen in my entire life. It is gross negligence. They watch this football week over week, and they think that there is something to improve, yet we regress every single week. We are in relegation form since we won the league against Tottenham Hotspur. Every game after that, we would be at the bottom of the fucking table. We have been diabolically horrendous after spending £500 million. So Mo's decision wasn't smart. But even if it was a stupid decision, I understand where he's coming from. I see his point. But it is what it is. I think his ego got the better of him. And there's nothing that we can do about it. The words have been said. The interview has happened. It is what it is. We must move on. Apparently, Mohamed Salah has been dropped from the squad against Inter Milan. Again, I don't think that that's going to make any difference from a footballing perspective. I think that we will look equally as shit without him as we do with him. And that has been proven in the past. Every time we drop him, we still look like fucking ass. So it is what it is. But let's move on from Mo. And let's talk about the Leeds game. I don't know what the board promised them, bro. Let's talk about the Leeds game, okay? Let me just adjust myself. Leeds, away. 3-3. A lot of people blaming Ibrahima Konate for giving away a cheap penalty, and all of a sudden that changed the tide. Let's blame individual errors for this game. 100%. Sure. Sure. That first half of Leeds was fucking diabolical. We didn't have a shot on target. We had no element of control. We were fucking horrendous. Second half starts. Hugo Ekitike capitalizes on a mistake, on an unforced error by Leeds. Unforced error. A pass back, doesn't find the right man. Ekitike, great run, great physicality, shields the ball, brilliant finish. Second Ekitike goal. I don't know if you guys saw this, but during the live watch, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I don't know if he's onside. And apparently, he wasn't. That's not even on the real edge of the ball. You can see more of the edge of the ball. Listen, I know that we have semi-automated system. I don't think that he was on. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't think that he was on. But nonetheless, it counted. And Liverpool went up 2-0. Now, I heard from people we had an element of control up 2-0. I don't think that we have the ability to control anything. We have no ability to control anything on the football pitch. Was it a rash tackle by Ibrahima Konate? Yes, I don't think he needs to go to ground there. I think he easily could have blocked that cross standing up. Do I think it was a soft fucking penalty? Absolutely. Because I think that Gnotto was already going to ground when his fucking leg barely touched Konate. And you're telling me that because the ball is on the line, that's a pen? Regardless. Allison guesses right. The worst attempt to save a penalty in my life. Like, move your fucking feet. Move your feet. You're flat-footed as he's running up to the ball. Commit to a side, cheat, jump. Should have saved that pen. He would have saved that penalty if he had moved his fucking feet before the ball was kicked. Regardless. All it took was one goal for Leeds, for the entire mentality of this team to just totally disappear. Totally disappear. Because once they scored that goal, you're thinking to yourself, it's 2-1. Who cares? Keep going. But then we started to play like cowards. And then we lead to this. Look at Ryan Gravenberch's look at Ryan Gravenberch's positioning. Why is he completely unmarked? Why is this man completely unmarked? Look at how much fucking space he has. This is Ryan Gravenberch's job, to man mark him. I don't give a shit what you're doing. That's your job, to man mark him. And we concede the goal. Now it's 2-2. And for the first time, Liverpool finally have some life, and we start attacking. And it's a brilliant transitional goal that Dominic Szoboszlai puts to bed. Brilliant transitional goal. But then we concede to a set piece. And set piece defending has been a consistent atrocity at this football club. Anything that's that consistent must be blamed on management. Anything that's that consistent must be blamed on coaching. It comes 3-3 in extra time. Based on the full game, I didn't even think that we deserved to be 2-0 up, to be honest. I didn't think that we were exceptionally better than Leeds. I think that we were very fortunate to be 2-0 up. I think that we worked hard to get to 3-2. And set pieces are set pieces. We can't defend them for shit. But the substitutions didn't make a whole lot of sense. The team didn't make a whole lot of sense. I saw zero fundamental change in the way that we built up against Leeds. I saw the same structure. 3-1, 6. That's what I saw. That was the team. I saw the same lethargic lack of energy when we tried to move the ball. I saw Isak come on and do nothing because we can't get the ball to our striker regardless. I saw all the same fucking problems. I didn't see any mass improvement from anyone. I saw Gakpo doing his best impression to do the same thing over and over. Consistently seeing him again in 3-on-1s on the wing, having no other option but to cut in and try to shoot. I think that it was diabolical. But what was more diabolical was Arne Slot's comments after the game. To say that Konate has been a bit too much at the crime scene is to completely neglect everything that leads to the crime scene. Hey, bro, I'm not here to argue your opinions of me. Think what you want. I don't care. Where was I? Konate. To consistently say that he is always at the crime scene is crazy. Because you're neglecting everything that led to him being there. You're not looking at the entire phase of play. You're just looking at the last moment. The last moment. You're looking at the last moment and you're saying, that's on Konate. He's always there. Well, that would make sense because the center back is always there. And that would also make sense because teams like to attack our right side and Konate is the right-sided center back. And that would also make sense because Konate doesn't really get a whole lot of fucking luck. Doesn't get a whole lot of help. Konate seems to be the culprit. Offensively, Konate's the culprit because you're trying to use him to be your fucking 10. You're using Konate as your main outlet and build-up. That's pretty fucking stupid. So, I don't agree with the manager throwing a player under the bus like that. I don't agree with Arne Slot shifting blame on anyone but himself. I don't think Arne Slot should blame anyone but him And this season, I have seen the yellow pages of excuses. It was long balls. It was other teams changing the way they played against us. It was set pieces. It was Mohamed Salah. It was Ibrahima Konate. It was Virgil van Dijk. It was the rain. It was the wind. It was the sun. It was the length of the blade of grass. It was the color of the line that the fucking, groundskeeper painted the pitch with. It was anything but him. It was anything but the fundamental way he approaches football. And as I've said consistently for the last 3 fucking months, the way that Arne Slot plays football, you can win games. You can score chances, but it is not consistent and it is not sustainable. And that is what we see. We can create chances, we can score goals, but we cannot consistently get results. We cannot consistently put in performances. We cannot challenge for the league. The man is weak. The man is a coward. The man is a fraud. The man is the Antichrist. He plays anti-football. Every week, we get worse. Every week, the buildup looks worse. Every week, the attack looks worse. Every week, the midfield looks more open. Every week, the set-piece defense gets worse. Now I'm watching Cody Gakpo take fucking corners for me. This is what you're doing in training? Your revolutionary decision is to put Cody Gakpo on corners because he delivered an assist against fucking Frankfurt? That's your solution? But the biggest problem of them all that I don't see anyone talking about is the mentality. I think that Arne Slot has bred a weak mentality into this football club. I think that it is a passive mentality. I think that it is not the mentality of a winner. I think it is casual. And I think that that is the true cancer. And I think it's evident when we go up 2-0 and we concede the lead. That's the 4th fucking time we've done that this season. That's a mentality problem when it's that fucking consistent. We almost did it against West Ham. Look at the mentality that we had once we went up 1-0 and once West Ham went down to 10 men. We got worse. Look at the mentality that we had against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. Let's just bin the competition. Look at the lack of fight that you see. Look at the lack of leadership that you see. Look at the lack of effort that you see on a week-to-week basis. Look at the lack of belief. Look at the lack of confidence from the manager himself. I love watching his reactions to the goals scored against us. What the fuck did you think was going to happen, you bald fucking cuck? I think that the mentality of this football club has been dismembered, dismantled, and replaced with a cuck-like cancer. At the end of the day, mentality is everything. This means way more than your ability on the pitch. This right here means everything. And we don't have this at all. None. Zero. Zip. And it's evident based on what we see on the pitch. We have no fight. We have no desire. We have no consistency. We have no spine. We have no core. We have no belief. We have no principles. We have no morals. We have no 10 commandments. We don't have a North Star. And I've always talked about this season how I don't like the way that this manager carries himself. I don't like the way that he conducts himself. I don't like the way that he speaks. I don't like the way that he reacts on the touchline. I don't like him, period. But now you see the dominoes falling. Now you see the dominoes falling. One by one, the pillars of Liverpool have collapsed. We have a disgruntled player base. We have a disgruntled leader. We have a disgruntled coach. We have a disgruntled fan base. We have a disgruntled Premier League campaign. And it all starts with the fundamental way that we play football. And I don't think that the fundamental way we play football instills any sort of confidence into any of the players. I just don't. I don't think that we're confident. I don't think that these players believe in the system. I don't think that these players believe in the manager. And because of that, I don't think that these players can effectively play the game week in, week out. And what are we going to see against Inter Milan? We're going to see the same dog shit structure. We're going to see the same dog shit buildup. We're going to see the same dog shit, period. It's going to be an awful performance. We might win. Inter Milan. We might win. What did you miss on the second goal? Here. Watch the whole phase of play. Watch the whole phase of play. Ready? Look solid. Watch why. Now, Konate backs off, right? Konate begins to backpedal because Gravenberch is dropping deeper. So essentially what Konate's doing is Konate's backing up, and now it's Grab's turn to mark this guy. Grab doesn't need to be here. Soboslai is coming down to help Joe Gomez. Gravenberch does not need to be on this guy. We don't need three people on Brendan Aronson. You don't need that. Soboslai is here for the cutback to try to cut off this lane. Joe Gomez is here. Grav, Konate has backed off. It's your turn to pick up this man. And watch. Konate backs off because Gravenberch starts running towards him. He's just reading the play. Curtis Jones gets done in as well. And then at this point, it is what it is. It's a Premier League footballer. He can finish that chance. %. 100%. It's that wasn't just Ryan Gravenberch, but that wasn't Ibrahima Konate. That's the only point that I'm making. It wasn't Konate. And the third goal is a set piece. Regardless, the overall performance was terrible. I felt a disdain watching this football club. We play terrible football, dude. We don't play progressive attacking football. We play pragmatic, passive cuck ball. We play vagina ball. We concede the center of the park in transition. We concede the center of the park in possession. Our midfield doesn't do anything. We have right backs playing as fucking right wingers. We have a left winger that has to win a 3v1 every time he touches the ball. We have a right winger that has to win a 3v1 every time he touches the ball. Everyone just stays in the same central area and waits for a miracle cross. We don't create anything from the center of the pitch. No one invades the center of the pitch. The 10 is never there. Isak can't get a touch on the ball. Florian Wirtz can't get into the game. Alexis McAllister is still fucking playing football. At the end of the day, has anyone truly in their heart of hearts believed that we have improved anything in the last 4 weeks? Has anyone seen incremental improvements in any phase of our game? Anyone. Can anyone name me any sort of incremental improvement that we have been making? Wow. What a fucking improvement, bro. It's exactly what I want to hear after spending 500 million pounds. I've already said that Salah shouldn't have said what he said, but I understand what he said and why he said it. Shouldn't have done it. Should not have done it. I've made that very clear. He should not have said what he did. But am I going to hold a gun to his head for saying it? No, I'm not. Because at the end of the day, if this club had any fucking brains, this manager would have been gone 6 weeks ago, and we would have simply picked up and moved on. 6 weeks ago, I didn't believe that we had a chance of winning anything. So at that point, I accepted the fate of the club, and I said, let's get ahead of this. Let's just deal with it now. Since that point, everything has gotten worse. The cancer has spread. Now we are ultimate terminal. Now there's nothing that we can do. Fate is going to do what fate is going to play out. It is what it is. There's no getting ahead of it. Whatever happens is going to be what happens. So in a sense, I hear Mo, because this manager should have been sacked 6 fucking weeks ago. This is unacceptable. And I don't believe in Arne Slot. I do believe in Mohamed Salah. You can blame Salah for being disrespectful. Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you if you're upset with his comments. I ain't going to do it. You can feel however you want to feel. If you think he's being a pedantic fucking dickhead, if you think he's being a petulant child, I ain't here to fucking convince you otherwise, brother. That's your opinion. I hear you, and preach. Say your shit. I'm just saying that I understand what he's saying. I don't agree with what he's saying, but I think that the ultimate problem is that this manager should have been sacked a while ago. I watched that Leeds game, and my first reaction was, I don't think that we do anything in the training ground. This is the first time this season where I genuinely believe that there is no practice sessions, that we don't go on the football pitch at the AXA Training Center, that we don't do anything. We play spike ball, we play checkers, we play fucking bingo, and we get massages. That's it. There is no improvement. There is nothing. There is nothing to be gained at this football club. There is nothing to be gained with this manager. It is now stage 4 terminal. And ultimately, the fact is fucking simple, people.
No, 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 no. We're completely fucked, completely fucked. We're completely fucked.
Yes, I do. I really believe that we don't listen, okay. I'm being facetious and I'm being hyperbolic when I say we play checkers. But I don't think that we do any sort of productive training at all. I don't think that we do any productive training whatsoever. And I think that our performances have validated that stance, because I've only seen regression. I've seen zero improvement in anywhere that we struggle. So I absolutely believe that we do not have efficient fucking training sessions. Zero. That is a firm belief. I'm not actually saying that we play checkers. I'm just saying that what we do on the training pitch means nothing, because nothing is changing on the actual fucking pitch. Does anyone actually believe that we look better from an attacking perspective or from a possession-based perspective without Mo in the team? No, I don't. I don't, because they would probably get fined. And at the end of the day, you don't want to tell the other team that we're not doing anything. This is possible. This is possible. Either way, every week I sit here and I say the same fucking thing. Worst performance of the season. That's been the only consistency. Is that after every game, we all come here and we all say, what was that? That's been the only consistent thing about this football club. I don't know about needing Klopp, but we just need a fucking mentality at the football club. We need something. Spamming crosses to no one. Didn't Arnie say that we played a lot of crosses? What? Yeah, we played a lot of crosses. We deserve to win. Fuck you, bro. No, educate me. We don't need Klopp. We just need someone who's not named Arnie Slot. Slot has fucked us. In so many ways, this team has gone backwards. Backwards. Hey, look at that. There we go. Big up Himothy. No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with him. I don't want to hear his fucking stupid ass voice. I don't need to hear his fucking voice. He's a bitch. He's a cuck. He's a loser. You want to know what his press conference was? His press conference was this.
Would you mind loaning me some of your lipstick, Mom? Because I want to at least look pretty the next time you decide to f me.
That was his press conference. And then he was asked the second question, to which he responded,
Won't someone please peg my anal canal? Everybody! Won't someone please peg my anal canal?
That's all Slot wants. That's all Slot wants. That's all he wants. He just wants to get pegged. He wants to get pegged by every team in the fucking in the continent of Europe. He's open. He goes, "Thank you, may I have another? Thank you, may I have another?" That's Arnie Slot. The club needs to take a real long, hard look at themselves, brother. The club needs to look at themselves. We're not in a good situation. We're not in a good mentality. We're not in a good place in the league. We're not in a good mindset in the locker room. Everything has regressed. Bro, they're about to give us anal fissures with the total domination they're about to display. I don't have much more to say. Because I'm sitting here on December 8th, 2025, and all I can really
I'm not the
think...
kind of person to say I told her so, but you know what? I told her so. I fucking told her so.
I don't like being that guy. But I told you so. Told you so. You want to know what I expect to hear from the away fans against Inter Milan? That's what I expect to hear. Fuck off. Anyway, maybe we'll be back tomorrow. I don't know. I'm losing energy with this football club. I'm losing patience. It is what it is. We suck. We're ass. We're horrendous. We're the worst Liverpool I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And every week we get worse and we get worse and we get worse. Leeds game. Lucky to go away with a point. Big up to the boys for salvaging a point against that club. Arne Slot is a fucking asshole. He's a cancer. We will never get better with him. It is what it is. We are not going to get better. Big up to everyone. Smash a like. Hit subscribe. Fuck this football club. I don't have the energy anymore.